Osiris stands at the very heart of ancient Egyptian mythology as a god of kingship, fertility, justice, and the afterlife. And his story was not merely a myth but a sacred framework through which the Egyptians understood life, death, and renewal itself. In the earliest traditions, Osiris was remembered as a divine king who ruled Egypt in the Golden Age, teaching humanity, agriculture, law, religious rites, and the rhythms of civilization. Under his reign, the land flourished, the Nile followed its proper course. An order, known as Ma'at, governed both the human and divine worlds. Osiris was not a distant god but a benevolent ruler who walked among the people, embodying the idea that leadership existed to sustain life rather than dominate it. His reign symbolized balance, abundance, and harmony between the gods, nature, and humanity. Osiris was the son of the earth god Geb and the sky goddess Nut, and the brother of Isis Set and Nephthys, forming a divine family whose relationships would shape the fate of Egypt itself. Isis, his sister and wife, was the goddess of magic and healing, and together they represented the ideal union of divine order and life-giving power. Set, by contrast, embodied chaos, storms, deserts, and foreign lands. Standing in constant tension with the fertile and ordered world Osiris ruled. This opposition was not merely personal but cosmic, reflecting the eternal struggle between order and disorder that defined Egyptian thought. As Osiris's power and popularity grew, so too did Set's resentment, fueled by jealousy and a desire to rule. Set's betrayal of Osiris is one of the most dramatic moments in Egyptian mythology and serves as the catalyst for everything that follows. According to the most widely preserved versions of the myth, Set devised an elaborate plot to murder his brother, disguising violence beneath the appearance of celebration. He hosted a grand banquet and presented a beautifully crafted chest, promising to gift it to whoever fit perfectly inside it. When Osiris lay down within the chest, Set and his co-conspirators slammed the lid shut, sealed it with molten lead, and cast it into the Nile. With this act, order was violently removed from the world, and Osiris was carried away by the very river that symbolized life in Egypt. The chest drifted far from Egypt, eventually becoming lodged within a tamarisk tree in the land of Byblus, where it was unknowingly incorporated into the palace of a foreign king. Meanwhile, Isis began her long and perilous search for her husband, a journey that defined her as the ultimate figure of devotion, magic, and perseverance. Disguised as a mourning widow, Isis traveled across lands, questioning strangers and calling upon her divine powers to track Osiris's body. Her search was not merely an act of love but a cosmic necessity, for without Osiris, life itself was unmoored. When Isis finally recovered the chest, she returned Osiris's body to Egypt, hoping to restore what had been lost. Set, however, discovered Osiris's return and committed an even greater atrocity, dismembering his brother's body into pieces and scattering them across the land. This act symbolized the complete fragmentation of order, a world torn apart by chaos. Isis, joined by Nephthys, mourned Osiris with such intensity that their cries were believed to echo in the rituals of Egyptian funerals for centuries afterward. Once more, Isis set out across Egypt, retrieving each piece of Osiris's body and reassembling him through sacred rites and powerful magic. Only one part could not be recovered, having been lost to the Nile, and so Isis fashioned a divine replacement, completing the restoration as fully as possible. Through her magic, Isis succeeded in reviving Osiris, but this resurrection was not a return to earthly kingship. Osiris had crossed a boundary that could not be undone, and his destiny now lay in the realm beyond life. From this moment, Osiris became lord of the Duat, the underworld, where he ruled as judge of the dead. In this role, he embodied the promise that death was not annihilation but transformation, governed by justice rather than chaos. Osiris's resurrection also resulted in the conception of Horus, the rightful heir, whose birth ensured that order would one day be restored to the living world. Horus grew in secrecy, protected by Isis in the marshes of the Nile Delta, where she shielded him from Set's wrath using spells, cunning, and divine intervention. As Horus matured, his destiny became clear, and he eventually challenged Set for the throne of Egypt. Their conflict unfolded through a series of trials, battles, and divine judgments that reflected the tension between rightful order and destructive chaos. The gods themselves debated who should rule, with some fearing Set's raw power and others recognizing Horus as the legitimate successor of Osiris. The struggle was long and brutal, emphasizing that order is not easily restored once broken. Ultimately, Horus was declared the rightful king, and Set was defeated, though not destroyed, as chaos could never be entirely eliminated from the cosmos. With Horus on the throne, Osiris's legacy was fulfilled in the world of the living, while Osiris himself reigned eternally over the dead. As lord of the underworld, Osiris presided over the judgment of souls, where the heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather of Ma'at. Those who lived in harmony with truth and justice were granted eternal life in the field of reeds, a perfected version of Egypt itself. Through this role, Osiris became the ultimate symbol of moral accountability and hope beyond death. The myth of Osiris was deeply intertwined with Egyptian agricultural cycles, particularly the annual flooding of the Nile. His death and resurrection mirrored the planting of seeds into the earth and their rebirth as crops, reinforcing the belief that life emerges from decay and renewal is inevitable. Each year, rituals reenacted Osiris's story, ensuring the continuation of cosmic order and the fertility of the land. Pharaohs identified themselves with Horus in life and Osiris in death, reinforcing their divine authority and promising eternal continuity of kingship. In this way, the myth of Osiris shaped not only religious belief, but political identity and daily life. Osiris's influence endured for thousands of years, spreading beyond Egypt into Greek and Roman worlds, where he was associated with gods of rebirth and salvation. His story offered a powerful answer to humanity's deepest fear, teaching that death was not the end but a transformation overseen by justice and compassion. Osiris did not promise escape from death, but meaning within it, grounding hope in cosmic law rather than blind fate. Through betrayal, dismemberment, and resurrection, his myths articulated the Egyptian conviction that order can be restored, even after unimaginable loss. If you found this exploration of Osiris and Egyptian mythology valuable, make sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. And let us know in the comments if there is another myth, civilization, or historical figure you would like us to explore next.